There's a number of different categories that you've heard of for cables. There's Cat 5, Cat 6, Cat 7, and 8. A Cat 5 cable can go up to 1 gigabit, and you can't exceed 100 meters for that length. That length is from your device through to the other end of that cable to the switch. Cat 6 cable actually lets you get up to, if your hardware supports it, up to 10 gigabit. Now, Cat 6 by itself, you can go up to a length of 55 meters to get 10 gig, or you can go full 100 meters, but only get 1 gig speeds. And then there's Cat 6A. Cat 6A lets you take and do a full 100 meters at 10 gig speeds. Then there's Category 7 cables. Category 7, again, same length, 10 gig in length, but it comes in, it's a shielded cable. And then emerging, there's Category 8, and as time marches on, cable technology is going to get, and we'll be able to go faster and faster speeds with that. So when you're looking at your category cables or Cat 6 cables, you're going to see there's a number of markings on here, and there's a couple of things that would be point out for you that you kind of want to keep in mind. This might be if you're going into an existing building or your house and you're not quite sure what cable you have. There's a couple of things to look out for. It'll tell you typically who the manufacturer is. It'll tell you the type of category that the cable is. That'll be also with the CMP or CMR. That's going to let you know if it's plenum or riser cable. And then the last thing, which is great for cable, especially coming out of the box and that, if you're doing an install or you're not sure how long your length is most cable comes with a foot or a meter mark on it. And you'll usually find this printed about every 2 feet along a cable. Sometimes you got to twist it around and find it, but this can be very valuable information when you're coming into a pre-existing installation. So for this section, we're going to talk about Ethernet cables, specifically what everybody's been using, which is UTP, unshielded twisted pair. I have a short little segment of this. This is one of Ubiquity's cables that I've kind of cut and pulled apart. There's the 4 pairs that you can see here, and they're color coded. There's the dialect that's here, and then this is just a little piece of dental floss, and that's used for stripping. So there's also a couple of different types of cable. There's what's called solid core cable, which is this type right here, and you can see it's just an individual solid core piece of wire. And we also have stranded wires, and that's where each individual wire is stranded. There's 7 super small little wires in here. Now, why would there be a difference to that? So solid core wire is a lot stiffer, and it's used more in structured installations or permanent installations. A little bit harder to bend, but it's a little bit better for the interior installations, especially for crimping ends and putting on your inserts. Stranded bends a lot easier, it's a lot smoother, can coil up, but can be a little bit more damaged when you're pulling inside of walls, and it's a little more difficult in crimping. So there's also 2 different types of cable that you would use during your installations. There's CMR and CMP. R stands for riser, and that's going to be a cable that you're going to use in your house and in some buildings that it's allowed, and it's going to be able to go in your walls, through your ceiling, through your attic space. The other type is CMP or plenum. The jacket that is used on it has been specifically built and tested to not release a number of toxic fumes in cases of a fire. Many times within a building, if there's fire and the cable starts to catch fire, this is not going to release many of the toxins that you're going to find in a PVC rated coating of a CMR cable. It's a little bit more expensive, but we make a standard that we just always install plenum rated cable. Safest way to go, and you don't have to ask questions for local code. So here we are at Ubiquity Labs, where we've simulated what would be a typical roof rafter system. I'm going to show you some good ways to take and install cable so you have good, clean cable management, make sure that your cables are protected, and make it hopefully much easier for you to go forward for your own individual projects.